Hey guys, I'm terribly sorry about today's video quality. I was not expecting the GoPro to actually turn out that bad with being that close to a subject, but it turns out that it was. I didn't want to lose the content or not be able to share this information with you guys. So I'll show you what we've got. Give it a thumbs down if you don't think the quality is good enough. That's totally fine. And I hope to see you guys for the next video.
Alright, so we've got to hook up the Raspberry Pi, the pins to this Raspberry Pi we've got here. The pins that we're going to be hooking up are just simply a couple of metallic pins that go through the Raspberry Pi. And I'm going to end up using a Raspberry Pi Pico W, which is just a wireless version of the Raspberry Pi Pico, simply because at some point I do want to have some wireless features for my irrigation system outside. So you don't have to have a Raspberry Pi Pico W, but if you want these features, you can definitely get it. Also, you don't have to solder your pins on yourself. They do come pre-soldered, so that is something that you can do as well. Go ahead and get this opened up. That's what the Pico looks like. And we'll figure out how many pins we need. Just go ahead and stick these in here. So we need all the way up to that one. Go ahead and just break that off. And we're going to use this breadboard here to actually stabilize and keep the Raspberry Pi level. So we'll go ahead and stick that into the breadboard. There we go, nice and flush. We'll have another row of pins. Same thing here. Alright, so we've got those pins inserted into the breadboard. That'll make our soldering nice and level. Put the Pico right on top of those pins. Get it seated. And now we should be good to start soldering. Alright, so and then from there, I just got to verify that all the pins are connected and fully soldered on, and to make sure that we don't have any cross connections or shorts. And from there, we can start actually building the program. So we've got here all the little components that we need. This is our 3-volt or 12-volt 3-amp power supply. It's going to connect through this bullet connector here. This pin in the center is going to be the positive. The pin on the outer edge is going to be the negative. So we'll say that is our positive and negative for our 12-volt power supply. We know that the Raspberry Pi is going to be giving us 3 volts. So we're going to say, let's say this is the pin that we're using. This should be at 3.3 volts. And I've run out of pins, or little wires, so I'm going to go ahead and just use yellow for ground. Connect that to the ground. And now we've got our power and negative coming from the Raspberry Pi Pico. We've got our tip 120 here. This is going to be our transistor. Go ahead and connect that to the circuit. We know that our 3.3 voltage needs to be connected to our base. So now we've got it connected to our base. We've got to connect a 1000 ohm resistor to the negative end. So we'll put that there. And we've got to connect the emitter to that resistor. So that completes our circuit for the Raspberry Pi. Now for the 12-volt power supply, we've got our diode with the little stripe on this end being the side that blocks electricity. So we will put that here. We have our 12-volt power supply coming in here to the side of the diode. Then we need to connect our negative to the emitter. Connect that back to the 12 volts. And then once we hook up our solenoid valve, we don't have those wires yet, but we will. One of these is going to break off and go to one of the terminals on the solenoid valve. And then we'll have one more that breaks off coming back into the circuit right here. And then we need to have one more actually branching off into the collector. So I know that's a bit of a mess to try to follow along with, but in the description we've got a link to the circuit diagram and Tinkercad, and you'll be able to take a look on there for a cleaner view of how all this is put together. And actually we can clean up this circuit just a little bit if we remove that pin. Let's clean up this circuit real fast. Let's move this diode directly to the collector. That way we can have power coming in from the 12-volt power supply, going out to the solenoid valve, and coming back in right at our collector. And that should clean up one less wire.
Thanks again for watching, guys. Again, I'm so sorry for that video quality. I will try to make an improvement on it for the next time. If you haven't had a chance to already, please subscribe to the channel. We're very happy to have you, and we're looking forward to creating more content for you in the future.